Hey guys, what's up behind here? Welcome to my first horror story reaction. God. When it comes to horror stuff, When it comes to horror stuff, I don't have the heart for it really. Like I get scared so easily. And that's why I suck at playing horror games and stuff. But it's awesome to get good reactions out of me. So I thought, let's try this. This is by Wanzy Entertainment. Hopefully I said that right. I'll link his video and his channel down below in the description. So guys, make sure to give not only this video a like, but make sure to go give him a like and subscribe. Okay guys, please. Anyway, let's get to it. Someone tried to kidnap me when I went canoeing.
It happened about 6 months ago. I was in a scouting group, and at the end of the semester with the last group meeting, we always did something special. But this time was a little different. Instead of going indoor climbing, our scout leaders decided to go canoeing. I was really excited about it because I'd never canoed before. As always with every trip, we should have to be an hour earlier as we were riding our bikes to the destination. I noticed something. It was a creepy-looking old man staring at us, with an almost psychopathic-like grin on his face. His clothes looked old and dirty. But I shook it off, thinking that even if the guy was some kind of creep, it still wouldn't matter because we were with a group. As we arrived at our destination, the guy from the canoe company told us how to row and that we had to choose our buddy to canoe with. I chose my friend Noah that we'd been friends since elementary.
Oh, yeah.
We got to go first, and it was sort of a race, so we were happy to go first. But within 10 minutes, we got passed by my little brother and his friend. It went pretty normal after that. We saw this guy in the middle of the stream in a boat, just fishing and sipping a beer.
It's the same
10 minutes
dude.
after, I saw the same guy I saw on the way here. He was just standing on the ground next to the stream with that same awful grin on his face. I thought of it as being a cliche, as this always happens in the movies. Noah also said, it's probably just a coincidence. He said this place is a popular camping place, especially at this time of the year. To be honest, he wasn't that scary that time. He might just be an old crazy man trying to scare some of the kids. So I just canoed on, and half an hour later, we were at the end. I got wet, so I grabbed a towel, and we went back to the meeting place. After that, I was going home alone, riding my bike. And I saw that same old guy in a car with another man who was sitting back seat. And they started slowing down. And the man asked me, "Hey kid, looks like you need a ride."
I
The
mean,
man
he has a
behind the
bike.
wheel said nothing, and I tried to say it as polite as possible. "Oh, no, thanks. I'm almost home anyway." As I looked at the man again, and I noticed fury and madness in his eyes, which I didn't know why. I just got scared, so I pedaled my bike out of fear of being kidnapped. But the car started chasing me, and they blocked the road. It was around 9 p.m. in a suburban neighborhood. Nobody was out on the street. As that guy opened the door, he jumped out and pushed me aside from my bike. I saw him with a gun in his hand. Then he finally knocked me out
shit.
unconscious. I don't remember how many hours passed. However, I could hear the sirens dimly. 2 police officers saw this car was speeding, so they were chasing it. I also heard gunshots, which made me so scared. And then they shouted, "Shots fired! Shots fired!"
God damn.
2 minutes later, the gunshots stopped, and the trunk where I was opened. It was a police officer. He took me out and told me, "It's safe now. Don't worry." Later, an ambulance arrived soon, so I could go to the hospital and met my parents there. Now 6 months passed, but I still think about what if the police officers didn't see them and they took me to the place where they were heading.
So what happened to the kid and the old man? Oh, okay. I got on the wrong ride. Ooh. You know what? Let's do it. Let's watch another one. No. Yeah, let's watch another one. Yeah, let's do it. I went in the wrong ride. I'll link this also in the description. I almost got killed.
This is not about my story, but someone from my church, and he wanted to share his experience with anyone else. He's a 32-year-old man, and his pseudonym is Mark. He's a fairly big guy, and this situation took place when he was on his way home from work. He said that he had lost his phone 1 week before this whole situation happened, so he couldn't call and get any help during the story. It was quite late, around 11 p.m. He had finished work and was walking to a taxi stop location, and when he got there, a few people were standing around waiting as well. After about 2 minutes, he noticed that there was a minivan approaching. Usually, minivans are cheaper than taxis, and he felt tired that day, so he decided to take the minivan. He sat on a seat, and there was a young boy seated in the passenger side next to the driver who was collecting the fare. And then, 2 other boys who looked like teenagers also boarded the minivan and sat in the seats in front of him. Once the minivan took off, after about 5 minutes, the boy asked if they would like to drink some Coke. The boys accepted and started drinking. And they also gave it to Mark. Mark was also feeling thirsty, so he took it, but only a sip. Not much later, he started feeling drowsy. Just before he about laid his head on the seat beside him, he noticed that those 2 boys were already knocked out. After he laid his head down, he heard noises coming from the back seats. 2 people were talking in a different language. The car was passing a big signboard that showed Crest Chicken Farm. And then he finally passed out. When he got up, he found himself inside a big shed-like barn, and there were some tools on a big table. He was on the floor, and the other 2 teenage boys were laying next to him. He still felt a bit drowsy, but he managed to get himself up as he was looking for an escape. He saw that the 2 boys were still passed out, so he tried waking them, but they wouldn't budge. As Mark was kind of a big man, he tried to see if he could carry one of them, but it was hard to do because even Mark was having a hard time to stand properly. And then he heard voices. He took a peek from the door, and 3 people were walking toward the big shed, coming from a house on the hill, which was quite close to the shed. Mark panicked and tried to look for another exit. He was looking around the place, and he found one at the end of the shed, luckily. He approached quietly and escaped as fast as he could.
Oh, he left the other 2.
At this point, his vision was all blurry, but he managed to find a fence door and unlocked it. He heard the people shouting, but he ignored. He just kept on running. When he finally reached his house, it was early morning, around 5 a.m. His wife was up all night waiting for him and ran out the front door as soon as she saw him. He collapsed and slept for almost the whole day. When he woke up and finally got a chance to explain to his wife what had transpired that night, he remembered about the other 2 boys who were still there. Then he contacted the police immediately. He told the police about the road signs and a big billboard for Crest Chicken Farm and other things that he could remember. About 2 weeks after, there was a police report about how they found 2 teenage boys' bodies in a lake and advised that when they examined the bodies, all their organs were missing. Mark just stood in fear. And as the event was too traumatic for him,
saved him.
Mark had to quit a job for a while.
Wow. Oh, wow. That really fucking touched my heart. Oh, God. I feel... That sucks so bad. Wow, it's really, like, I honestly don't know how to feel right now. Like, I'm sort of sad, but at the same time, that fucking sucks. I mean, I would have done the same thing and ran, but I just can't help not, help, I don't know what I'm saying. I just can't help to think, like, what he could have saved them, or at least tried to fight them. He could have grabbed the tools and just knocked them out, but Damn, just imagine all the torture they went through. That sucks, dude. You really gotta be careful on like who you trust nowadays. Wow, there's a lesson to be learned from all this. Well, Jesus, to be honest, I'm kind of creeped out right now. Like, ah, shit, man. Well, guys, this is by Wanzi Entertainment. I'll link these both down below. And wow, oh, I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully, peace out, guys.